Welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit, a platform where we have invited Spirit to share messages, healings, and transmissions with all of us. May this energetic experience help us to expand our awareness and to deepen the relationship we have with our higher self, our spiritual team, and with Source, however we define them. Thank you for being here and for taking part in this amazing journey. Welcome to
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. That's okay. Go ahead, Chiara.
Simply, hi, everyone. I am Chiara. Sorry, Daniel.
Perfectly okay.
Jump in.
So, welcome to the Channeling Spirit Virtual Summit. We are season 4. My name is Daniel Martinez Stahl. I'm being joined on episode 8 with Chiara Prato. For those of you that have listened to the other seasons, you will have heard me talk about my group of channeling buddies, my friends that I practice channeling with on a weekly or regular basis. And she is part of that group. Samuel is also part of that group. He speaks at the alternate times of the seasons, so he'll be back season 5. And we have our other 2 members of the group that are present in the background. So welcome, everybody. I will let Chiara introduce herself to you guys, and then we're just going to have a nice conversation amongst friends, and you guys are along for the ride. So it's going to be a great time. Feel free to interact with us, ask questions. At some point, Chiara is going to channel. We have no idea who she's going to channel and who's going to come forward, so that'll be fun to play with. But Chiara, we were talking about this the other day. Different people react differently when they come out of their channeling experience, and Chiara is one of those that when she comes back, her mind is very quiet and very, very empty. And so having conversations with her afterwards is a little bit of a challenge. So if you guys want to, really kind of ask her about her process and what she does and how she plays with, I would recommend that we do that before she channels. So anyway, enough about Chiara. I'll let her introduce herself to you guys, and then we will go from there.
So again, I am Chiara. As you can see, I'm not an English native speaker because I am Italian. The introduce myself is always the most difficult part of this conversation, because I always wonder what people are interested on. So I started my, let's say, journey in what is the paranormal energy and stuff when, well, it was 94 with an Aikido practice, and we did a seminar on feeling the energy. It was centered on key Aikido, art of joining the energy. So the energy was a big part of it. We did this class, and I realized that with my eyes closed, I could feel the energy of the people walking around. I could see the energy of my teacher walking around. So that was basically my first time that I realized, wow, there must be something that I don't understand and don't believe in that is true. And again, Aikido helped me really a lot to understand that things are not like we are used to think they are. For example, when someone very small can move a mountain of person, imagine you have in front of you the rock, and a very tiny person can move him with no effort. In our culture, that's impossible. You don't think it's possible. But you can see that happen, and you can also do that. It does. All you need is a little bit of training, and you can do that. And that's really mind-blowing, because we are taught since when we were very young that things are like this. This is light, this is heavy, and this is strong, and this is weak. And then you realize that it's not like that. You realize that the weaker, well, the less resistance you do, the strongest you are. And that's completely different from everything that we are used to. And so that's my paradigm shift moment. And since then, I started to look around and try to understand what I could do, how can discover stuff that I never thought about. And I started with some naturopathy. I started with some study something about Bach flower. I started to study life alignment, and I did that for 12 years. I'm still doing that. But then I discovered the whole channeling world, and I discovered the greatest thing for me, that I'm a curious person, is that it's always a discovery. So you find something, and for years that thing is basically your life, and you say, I cannot see myself doing anything else. And then you look around and you see another thing, and there is something else that came on. And this growing process is the funniest part of life for me, the new discovery, when you start to find there is more, and there is always more, and there is always more. You can always learn more. And so in the last 2 years, I focused myself on channeling, which it was almost a forbidden word for me before. I was not feeling confident. I was not even sure that I believe in all this stuff. And then I discovered I believe it, I like it, I love it. And I started to practice. And more I practice, more I love it. So at the moment, this is my, this is what I love to do. This is what I love to find out more about. And the channeling is bringing me more and more. For example, in the last 6 months, I started to be guided also in some healing, and is again still a discovery. I still don't know exactly what I do, but I feel it getting stronger and stronger, and basically that's it.
So there's a couple of things that I want to kind of go into. I would love to get you to talk about the work that you're doing with people as a channeling service, because I know that it comes across differently than what people might imagine. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to Maitland and to Eric, who are some of our friends that I know are with you and with us. There was a little bit of energy that was cutting into Chiara's internet connection. I don't know if you guys noticed that. And what I did mentally is that I asked our spirit friends to not necessarily leave Chiara space, but to be conscious of how their energy was impacting the connection, the internet connection. Because a lot of times for people that are new to this whole energy space, you will hear that when the energy of spirit is so strong, it interferes with microphones, with cameras, with the internet. I mean, connections get dropped, happens all the time. And so we can ask our friends to shift their energy around so that it doesn't interfere as much with our technology. And the reason that I wanted to share all of this is because, and I mentioned this in the last season that Chiara and I were talking, one of the things that I really appreciate about working with Chiara, and I have learned it from her, I've adapted it from her, is that she sees all of the spirit energies as friends. They're her friends. And she embodies this more than anyone that I have ever come across. And I've hopefully picked up on that. And so I refer to my spirit friends, the energies that play with me as my friends as well. But I really want to, give a shout out to Chiara, because it's because of her relationship with spirit that taught me to have that perspective. And so I wanted to bring that up because it's a really beautiful and playful and open energy that makes it easy for spirit to come and play with her and to play with us. And so I wanted to kind of mention that. Maitland channeled through Chiara last time. Maitland is a guide that works with Jamie Butler, who was our teacher. We met each other because we were in the trance channeling class with Jamie Butler. Maitland is one of the guides that speaks through and works with Jamie very closely. And Maitland will always talk about how she's happy to work with you and play with you too. All you need to do is just ask her. So if you're interested, you can check out that recording once I make that available on the public sites. It's not available quite yet, but it will be soon. So having said that, Chiara.
Yeah, I introduced Maitland to people that even don't speak English, so they cannot see Jamie video and or mine. But the cutest interaction we had with Maitland is with a 80-something years old. She's 82 at the moment. Yeah, she is 82, and she's a very very strong person, but also she conserved and she saved all her childlike wonder. She's an amazing person. She's an artist, and she's very sweet. And Maitland started to play with her. So she lives alone, and sometimes she knows that she feels Maitland play around her. She can feel her with her. And since she doesn't speak English and she's a little, she has ear problem, Maitland was too difficult for her to say. So she became Mei Mei for her, which the Chinese word for little sister. So really, with Maitland, all you can, if you like her and if you even just want to know her, all you have to do is call for her, and she will make you feel her presence. Sometimes you can feel the giggle. Sometimes you can feel her. You can have the feeling of her playing around you. A lot of time when I'm walking for the town, I have the feeling of having her holding my hand and skipping around. Maitland is someone that is not shy to make herself be felt. And that's really because she presents as 9 years old, when she's speaking. Not always, but often she presents herself like that. And that kind of energy is the kind of energy that you can feel her. So if you need some joy in your life, if you need someone that can uplift you, well, having a child does that to you, because it makes more playful, because in a way, when there is a child around, you are more playful, because that's the energy the child brings. And so she's someone that is very nice to have around.
So
And
again,
she's my friend.
And so again,
she's my friend.
Big shout out to Maitland for everything that you've done to help us and support us and play with us. It's great having you around. So I wanted to kind of have you talk about when you work with people and you're using channeling as the way of working with them. How does that happen for you? How does that happen for the client? Can you kind of walk us through an example? And I know that it's different every single time.
Yeah.
But just to give you an example of what it's like to work with you and channeling.
Usually it's not much different from what we do here. Simply I go in my trance state, and the person with me interact, asking the questions. What's happening is the questions are not always answered, and often they give you the reason why they don't answer your question. For example, if okay, my friend, one of my clients, but I call her friend. One of my friends asked me, what do I need to do with this guy? Do I need to break up with him or not? And in that case, she had Maitland as a spirit. And Maitland said, I cannot answer that, because if I answer, I take the decision for your life, which is not what is not why we do what we do. We don't communicate with people to take the wheel of your life. But you can ask the question in a way that we can help you to clear your mind and decide what you want, or what the reason why something happened or something like that. Other times, instead, while we are you and the spirit are talking, sometimes they start healing. For example, another client was she had a lot of problem, health problem, and in that time I started to move my hand in a way around there. I was around there. She was sitting down on a chair and I was standing up, and I started to move around there and pull some I don't know, stuff from her. I have no idea what I was doing, because my body was moving, but it was not me doing that. So I started to, in a way, cut stuff that she was bringing, and that were forcing her to be, how you say stretto? They were
restricted.
Yeah, they were restricting her. So I cut them, I opened them, and I pulled some stuff from her. And so the thing is, I don't always know what's going to happen. But when the person comes to me, usually they already have they already trust the process, else they will not come to me. So we say before, whatever happened is the right thing that's going to happen. I don't know what, they know. And so trust that what is happening is the right thing for you. And in this way, it's let me think. This way, what the process brings is a connection between this person and the other side that in a way is stronger because the person see what's happening. Everyone can have a wonderful connection with the other side. It's not that I was born gifted with talents that no one else has. Everyone has talents, have this ability. It's like walk, and if you never try to walk, you will never be able to. But if you start learning, and even falling sometimes, but you start learning walking, you can be able to do that yourself. But see someone else that is doing that to you, bring the awareness that the process is happening. While when we do that on ourselves, most of the time we think, did I make it up completely? Did I it's just wishful thinking and something like that. When someone else is giving you this perspective from outside, that usually is on spot because they know what word used for you. Why I don't. Mostly I don't know the English word for that. Sometimes they do when they can bypass my resistance. That's very fluent, and that's what's happened. So yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. So where do we want to go?
Let me say something. Most of the time, I will not be able to say who the spirit is because that's a resistance that most of the time I still have.
So,
but
to kind of clarify that a little bit, I have it a little bit myself as well. But Chiara is really resistant to, it's really cute. When archangels come, she is in such shock that they're speaking through her that she will not let them say their name. Even though she knows who they are, she won't let them say their name. And so Archangel Michael tricked her into letting his name come out. And so so we play with her a lot with that. So there's a lot of resistance in her way of allowing energy to come forward where the name is difficult for them to share. And we all know that names really aren't that important, but sometimes it's helpful to have a name as a reference. And so when whoever comes forward, if it's not an energy that I'm familiar with, if we ask them what the name is, we're going to need to either be okay not knowing who they were, or they'll be able to kind of trick Chiara into letting them say something. And so we never know who's going to come forward. Chiara doesn't work with one particular energy. Maitland comes forward a lot because we're familiar with her and she plays with it a lot. Eric Meadows, hopefully I pronounced your name correctly, Eric, comes to play a lot with us as well. Eric is another person that works very closely with Jamie. Jamie channeled Eric in helping Eric's mother connect with Eric after his death. And so there's a relationship between Eric and Jamie. And like we say, we came through Jamie's training. And so Eric is a part of our group as well. So big shout out to him. Eric came forward through Samuel last season. And it was a heavy conversation. We were talking about death and suicide and various things. And so it was a pretty heavy conversation. Eric took his own life. And so I asked him to speak of that as he was channeling through Samuel. And Eric keeps on inviting me to let people know that he's a trickster, he's a prankster, he's very playful in his energy.
He just tricks something.
And so he's not this serious, very, very somber person. He's a very playful, very energetic, very mischievous. He likes swearing a lot. Loves talking about doing drugs like marijuana and drinking and things and
sex and boobies.
And sex, a lot of sex and boobies. He when he comes through, Sally, who's our friend who's listening, Sally says to him, "You're not allowed to touch my boobies." And so we play with him a lot. He's very. He's got a great kind of personality and so again, big shout out to him again for being such an important part of our group.
Also, if I may, what Daniel said before, that we treat them as a friend, they treat us as a friend, is really like having your friend here, or especially us that we are so used to have people not live, but via Zoom and all the online connection is basically it's the same. You have the same feeling that you have with real person. It's not different. So the moment they start to communicate with you, it's basically like having a Zoom with the other side, and you can talk with them in the same way. And they are mostly people that channel before I met Jamie and stuff and started this process. One thing that was always a little bit weird for me is that those energy were always so serious, so profound. They always had to give you the answer of your life, and in our group is not like they give you very profound answer to very serious problem, but they give that with a lightness and a playfulness that is the way we speak with people. We are, at least this is my I never looked for a guru. I don't want someone that decide how I have to live my life. I want to feel free. I want to be myself. And one thing that happened, and this is for me is a paradox, but I love it so much, so I say it every time, is the moment I started to give voice to those spirits, is the moment I started to be myself and find the bravery, the courage to be myself and say, "Ooh, what's happening in my life is not working. I need to." I realized that I was loving myself more every time that an entity came, and I give them the voice. They borrow my voice, basically. I was stronger after. And this is a process that keeps going and going. And so this is one of the reasons why I love this so much, because they give me the strength to be myself, and yeah, probably because doing something so crazy as speaking with those people is the weirdest thing you can do. So, well, I do that. So everything is lighter.
You bring up a really good point, because one of my friends the other day, this was quite a while ago when I first started learning how to channel, he was like, why are you interested in channeling? And I said, because it allows me to learn more about who I am and what I'm capable of.
Yes.
Because in learning to channel, it allows me to put myself in situations where I need to expand my awareness in a way so that I connect more with the truth of who I am. And so in the process of learning to channel, I'm learning more about myself. And so I love that invitation. Anything else that you want to share or talk about? Any other subjects or anything that comes up? No? Anybody have any questions for Chiara? All right. So, Chiara, nice chatting with you.
See you later.
See you later.
Okay.
And so for people that are sensitive to energy, you can feel the shift in the space. You can feel the shift of energy. I feel it like a wave, like a soft, subtle wave of energy going through my body. I don't always feel it, but I did just now. Oftentimes when we're channeling as a group, some of us will state our intention ahead of time. Stating an intention gives spirit almost like a roadmap for them to answer questions. So if there's something that you want to know or something that you want to explore, an energy that you want to connect with, you can state that as an intention ahead of time, and that will help bring that energy forward.
So are you taking me a little bit?
Take your time. Are you okay if I continue chatting just to kind of pass the time? Yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
And so stating your intention, like I said in an earlier session, it's something that I don't do anymore. I don't feel like I need to, because I have kind of an unwritten statement or conversation or relationship that I place as the working relationship that I'm inviting with spirit. And so I don't need to state my intention every time. If there's a specific intent that I have, and then I can do that either mentally or verbally out loud. Chiara likes doing her intention, and so as she was going into that, I supported her mentally by giving her intention that she's shared with us and using that as a framework for spirit. And now I know that I didn't need to do that because she would have done that on her own. But as a listener, as a participant in this journey, we can help hold space. We can take a breath and allow her body to settle, to give space, to make it easier for spirit to come forward and to align with her energy. And that's something that I can do. And I just did as I was speaking to you. As a listener, I can do that to help. And so there's a lot that we can do as listeners as well to feel into the energy, to be co-creators in the process. And so give me a moment. Let me just check in with our friend and see how they're doing. How are you doing? You need a little more time?
We can start.
Beautiful. Welcome.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Are we familiar with you? Have you come to play with us before? Take your time. So this is my
I
guest.
was here before. I was here before.
Beautiful. Will our friend let you tell us who you are? Given that you've been here before, maybe she'll let you.
Let's see if we can do that later.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Well, thank you for coming forward and playing with us. We appreciate you having here. And so again, one of the things that I like to do is to always ask, what are the areas that you specialize in? What are your interests?
I am an helper. My area of preference is helping people. I grant. No, that's not the right word. I listen to prayer, and I sometimes intercede for miracles. Yes, miracles is the right word.
Beautiful. And so you're an energy that takes our prayers and helps convert them into action, into reality. Would that be fair?
Yes,
Beautiful.
sometimes.
Sometimes. Or you would coordinate with other energies that would help to assist.
I don't, no one works alone. So if whatever thing happened, that's because, sorry, she's need to a little help here. Whatever thing happened, it's already been coordinated between more than one energy. It's always a process of dynamic interaction between energy and people. Well, people are energy, but between earth energy based, like people, and the energy that come from everyone, everywhere else. So it's not only my decision, it's always a
Collective.
multitude. Yes, a collective, a multitude of
Beautiful.
factors that I can, basically, I can pick the one that need to be granted.
And as you came forward to this conversation, I would love to learn a little bit more about what it is about today and this conversation that attracted you to step forward and to share a message with us.
It's time that collective will start to create bridge between the dimensions, and this is the reason why I step in today, because your kind needs to be aware that they can create the bridge and also open the bridge without help from external source. And by source, I mean religions or believing system that, in a way, give you limitation instead of give you opportunity. What I'm saying is not you have to step out of your religion. I will never say something like that. Everyone has their own belief system, and none of them is wrong. In every religion, there is something that has their value and that can bring out in the collective. But she's speaking out because she's thinking, I said that I don't bring people with answer. But
you can just kind of push her aside.
Yeah, I gently push aside, like we always do.
Yes.
When she starts to freak out. So what I was saying is not that there is a right or wrong religion. There is nothing wrong also in not having a religion and be open, and also in being closed. Everyone has their path in the way they move and act and feel. Everyone have their way to experience self and life and the cosmic energy on themselves. But what I can say to your listener and viewer is you can open the path and open yourself on the opportunity of having a stronger connection with the other, what we call the other side. And so the reality can really merge more easily without any help from external. You don't need a priest to be in connection with God. You don't need a rabbi to be closer to God. You don't need a monk to help you to connect and prepare the path that you can walk in to have a better connection. But you can use those two in a way if you want. It's just one way to reach the other side. But be open to the direct path. You don't need a huge and long path that can happen in a second, in a moment, in an instant. The moment you decide that you have connection with the other side, you already have it. We are always with you, around you, and for you. We are always open to connection and communication, and you can speak with us and speak and be listened by us. So open what the people say, open your heart. Is not wrong, is quite correct. Open yourself to the possibility and opportunity to connect with us. And that's where the magic happens. That's where the miracles happen. The faith, you can feel is a path of joy. It doesn't have to be a path of sadness. And that's also when you are grieving. And while we are aware of the pain of the grieving process for human, we can assure you that it's not the connection with your beloved is not lost because he simply changed his body. The connection is still there because the connection is made by and of love. So you can have a connection without the meat of the body, but simply with heart to love. Your energy field already is in contact with people that are not living, that are not present, that are not from this life or incarnation. You already are constantly in contact with people, and not people that were always with you during your lives. So that's the message I wanted to bring you.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I love the invitation to allow ourselves to be open to connect, and the reminder that we can utilize different tools and processes, but to be open to recognize that we don't need them. Again, if anybody has any questions that's live, feel free to put them in the chat, and I'll put them forward. For people that are learning or exploring into the idea of channeling for themselves, do you have any recommendations to help them connect with themselves more easily?
Breathe deeply, and when you breathe when you breathe in, yes, when you breathe in, feel the energy around you, and then you breathe it out. But when you breathe in, allow yourself to scan all the air around you, all the field around you, all the space. In this way, you will start to feel the presence of your beloved. So when you are breathing, focus on just the breathing. In this way, your mind will be busy with the expanding and collapsing. This will allow you to connect more easily, to empty your mind from the thoughts that usually are chatting in your mind. In this way, you clean the energy, just focusing on one task only.
And for those of you that are listening to the recording and don't have the benefit of the video, our friend is breathing consciously and using his hands, and I'm saying his because I feel it's a masculine energy, using his hands.
I use my hand just to explain to the viewer, not because you have to use your hand, but to give you visual images of what I'm energetically doing. So
focusing
when
on.
I breathe in, yes, when I breathe in, what I'm doing, even without my hand, is focusing on what my field is and how breathing air expand my energy field, and how breathing out energy, breathing out air help me to bring the energy to me. So I breathe out and expand, and breathe in and take everything in. Doing this can be done in every place, even in crowded place. But when you start working on this kind of breathing and this kind of energy for your opening to the energy, my advice is doing that in empty space, possibly with nature around you. In this way, you can ground yourself more easily to this feeling and in your body, and this will allow you the expanding. I use collapsing because she does not know a different word, so she cannot translate what I'm saying. But this expanding and not expanding feeling is made easier on natural ground, on in a way you can call virgin ground that has not been built on before. It's easier when you can stay in a place where the energy is so strong that the moment you expand, you can feel that. But if that option is not possible, because maybe you live in a very crowded town, even a single room is enough. This will anyway help you to control the way you expand and bring to yourself the energy that you need to start to feel the kind of energy around. Animals are not a problem, so you can do that even if there is a cat, even if you're a cat, a dog, or goldfish, or any other animal. That's not influence the quality of your learning, because they are more connected already to the animal realm, and so to the natural realm on the ground and earth. So when you start to train yourself in the breathing, you can start to feel the change of the texture around you. and this will allow you to find more easily a way to feel the energy that are not human. That's why it's more easy if you do that when no one is around. So you can feel the energy that are present, even if their body are not there.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. There's a question that came forward, and I'm going to completely paraphrase the question. I hope that's okay. Hopefully I will get to the gist of what you're asking for. Given that you mentioned the idea of religion earlier, it does bring up a question for people. As we connect more with spirit, there's a perception that that's going to interfere with our religious beliefs or our religious practices, that there's a conflict between religion versus connecting with spirit without religion. Can you speak to that? Is that question clear, or do you want me to reword that?
I think, let's see if my answer.
Let's see. Let's go.
Let's see. And then if I need more, you can ask me more. So yes, there are some conflict. And I use our example that Chiara went lately to a funeral, and she could feel this person's spirit in the church. But what the priest was preaching is completely different from her belief system. So she knew this person was already in a serene state. She knew that this person did not need a...
Ethan, I'm listening to something and I'm leaving. What do you want?
She doesn't...
Sorry
she
about
knew
that.
No, it's okay. It's not a problem. So basically, she could feel the difference between what she know that's true and what the priest was saying. What she realized is that in the same time, what she didn't realize is that at the same time, the energy that the priest was bringing in was so strong that was able to affect all the people in the room, because the faith or this belief system that when you die, you can go to the paradise and sit next to God, is something that brings us a frequency that is the same frequency that spiritual people already know is there, is the same frequency. Is like when you make a bell ring, you know that Tibetan bell, you hit that and that vibrate. The same thing happens when you are in a church. The energy, the sum of the energy of the person and the need of connecting with that paradise create a bond, an energy that resound and create a frequency that in a way help you to heal, even if you are not completely sure this thing is working. Not every person that goes to church is religion. Often people go to church just because it's something you are supposed to do. That doesn't matter. The moment you go there, the energy affects you. And so is this kind of sort of healing and sort of connected to the frequencies of what they call paradise is the same. And I use the Christian example because Chiara is more familiar with that, and so she can more easily find the necessary word. But what I said can be used in any religion or belief system. So basically what happened again is the collective of energy bring there, especially in the oldest church, they were created following layer that will bring energy, the sacred geometry that help to bring the energy that needed and be focused in a place where the speaking priest can radiate this energy to all the people back. So this is a way where both the belief system can cohabitate in the same place, in the same moment. So you don't have to be right to be healed. You don't have to have the answer, to have the connection with the other side. Again, the more open you are, more answer you get, more energy you get. So the moment you go and you feel the conflict, look if stay there is the right thing for you. That's what I can say. Because sometimes even stepping out can help you heal. So the person that asks the question may have some may need more information. I don't know if I answer that.
Yeah, so thank you very much for that. I will, if it's okay, I'd like to add my own kind of idea, and then you can we can have a conversation back and forth. And of course, the individual that posed the question, if there's more clarifying questions that you would like to have us explore, please feel free to type that in. So from my point of view and my perspective, exploring a spiritual journey outside of a religion gives me a deeper understanding of what the religion is trying to point towards. And so they can both work hand in hand and can coexist together. As I deepen my understanding of what it means to connect with the energy of source, I can read between the lines of what the religion is trying to point me towards, and I can see more of the truth behind the words that in any religion, unfortunately, again, my perspective, the message has gotten distorted. or has shifted, but there's still truth behind what's being shared or underneath what's being shared. And so deepening my understanding of spirituality helps me to see what the religion is trying to point me towards. And that's the way that I see it. Hopefully that's helpful for you as well. I don't know, our friend that's with us, if that's something that you would like to expand upon.
When you it's okay, let's try in this way. When you read a book for children, and you have a message, and they have certain words that say something, and you know, because you have more experience, what they are saying in the book means for example, in the book there is she's not familiar with the English fairy tales, so she's very difficult to find the right name. But for example, when you say to a child that there is a wolf in the forest, so don't go in the forest, we as an adult know that the wolf is the danger you can find in your life, but the child doesn't know. So think that in the forest will be the wolf that is going to talk to you and have a conversation to you, and in this way start to get information. But for the child, the wolf is literal at the moment. In the same way, when you are in a religion, you can take the word in the same way, so in a literal word. But if you start to have a better understand of what the metaphor you read means, that help you to understand what they are saying in the book. Let's bring the Bible again. When in the Bible there is written the sun and the sun move around the earth, you know it's not what's happened in reality, but is what was needed for the person of the time the book was written to be understood and processed. So when you have more information, you have a different perspective on why the words that are used, and why the channel message that was written in this way. I need to speak two different kind of language with a person that knows about flying a plane and a person that used to live in cave before the civilization. If I want to meet, I need to use the same word, the same concept to these two different people. I need to use different words. Every religion written is written for the people that read the moment the religion was written, or dog. So there is always an adaptation. No religion is perfect because every religion was written a lot of times ago. In this way, the knowledge of the people, the mind of the people, the spirit of the people change. So we are using the same text that people use. What for you is a lot of times ago. Things are changed, not the concept. So when you read your sacred and holy book, keep in mind that what is written was written for different people with different view and understanding of the world. So you have to contextualize what they were saying at the moment, at the time, and try to bring that to this current moment. And not always the organized churches are up to this process of contextualization, but often they stay to the literal, believing the literal written word. But you can connect to the energy behind the word. And so having a different understanding of everything that was and is and has been said.
Thank you for that perspective. The question that's coming forward as a follow-up question is, how do I put this? It's not clear on their part exactly what it is that they're asking. So I would like to invite the person that's asking the question to give permission to our spirit friend for them to connect with your intention so that they can answer your question more directly. And so I've got the confirmation yes in text. So I'd like to invite you, if you can tap into their energy and their question so that you can speak to their question more effectively. The question comes forward as, if one is conflicted in what is written, but they feel strongly different, how does spirit deal with this distinction and this conflict?
The conflict is not on the spirit level. The conflict is always on the mortal level, on the human level. So for us, word does not have meaning, but frequency. So we don't really feel the conflict. How you can deal with that? Let's see.
So while our friend is connecting with the energy of the person that's asking the question and formulating things and working with our friend Chiara as well, given that he's going through her, my thoughts on this, and again, please take everything I say with a lot of grains of salt, is as I expanded my own understanding of spirituality, it brought up a lot of questions with regards to religion. And like I said, the more that I understood about the meaning of myself and the meaning of spirit in the way that I was relating to it, it gave me an opportunity for me to step away from the restrictions that were imposed by the religion around me. And that was a choice that I made because it made sense to me for me to leave, for me to step away from that. And I know people that explore a very spiritual path and are very invested in their religion. And for them, there's no conflict. The spiritual path, the understanding of source and energy and all of these things just helps to enhance the meaning behind their scriptures that they enjoy exploring and playing in. And so for them, there's no conflict. So I think that it's part of our journey to touch into what resonates with us and to give ourselves the permission to move away and to move towards things that resonate with us and away from things that don't. And it doesn't have to be permanent. It's also, we can move away while we find ourselves, and then we can go back to it if we find that that's something that we want to do.
So what I can say is there is no conflict. The conflict is when for religion people, what I'm going to say is going to seem very conflicting, even if I say that there is no conflict. But you don't need a religion that make you feel uncomfortable. That's what your connection with God doesn't go through religion. You don't need a religion. So what I don't know how to explain this in a way that doesn't seem like I am destroying the fundamental pillar of any written religion. And I apologize if this can feel too violent for someone. You can choose your religion. That's why we are not born with that. No one is born with a religion in their mind. They are taught. Follow what your art and your energy feel feel you better. If I bring again the exercise we spoke about before, the breathing exercise. Try this and see what helps you to breathe deeper and more and expand more. If your religion doesn't allow you to breathe in and expand, maybe that's something you have to think about. Why something that is supposed to elevate myself and my spirit doesn't do that. So, yeah.
One of the things that so let me just kind of follow up with the message that just came through. You are not destroying anything. I only ask this because two of my deepest connects with spirit were in a church, but I didn't feel they were part of the religious experience. So I think that, so again, take everything I say with a grain of salt. And one thing that Chiara said earlier, which is that spirit isn't going to tell us what to do or what not to do. They help us to see things, and they help us point us in a direction where we question things and come up with our own decisions with their support and their guidance. So I'm kind of speaking for our friend here a little bit. What the way that I would kind of describe things is, religion is wonderful if it's something that fills you up and brings you with joy and excites you and that you resonate with and connect with it. There's nothing wrong with any religions. Religions are not for me. They don't resonate with me. And so I don't follow or practice any specific religion. I feel myself being very spiritual, always have been. But I follow my own ideas of what resonates with me. I don't like being told by some book that was written 2,000 years ago and then misinterpreted by other people and their ideas and their thoughts of what that's supposed to mean. That doesn't resonate with me. If that resonates with you and you get value and joy from it, fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't say that with any judgment whatsoever. It's just not for me. And the wording that I used was my experience and the way that I see things. And that's why religion doesn't resonate with me. Now, there's aspects of religion that I love. Like my cousin, one of my cousins is a preacher. And I love speaking about religion with him. He's so open, so expansive, so knowledgeable. We have wonderful, beautiful conversations about God and about spirituality and even about religion. Now, I speak to someone else who is very religious, and the experience is very different. So it's not the religion in and of itself that I'm against. It's just the way that I've experienced religion just doesn't resonate with me. Now, the other thing that I find myself kind of helping people to differentiate is the distinction between religion and spirituality. Having a spiritual experience inside a church doesn't mean that that was a religious experience. It was a spiritual experience. Now, you can have a spiritual understanding and a spiritual experience within church that was specific to the religion, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And so there's this idea, again, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase a little bit what's being shared with me in the text. We grow up in a society that tells us, our families, our communities will point us into going towards a certain belief system because that's what they've been taught is correct. And so we're forced into a situation where we're being fed ideas that don't resonate with us because our family and our society and our culture says that this is what's right because that's what they were taught. It's innocent. Anybody that's in this conversation is connecting to the truth of who they are. And the invitation that all of us talk about, the invitation that's been shared with me from Spirit, is the opportunity for me to be authentic within myself, of who I am and of what's important to me, and the value that comes from following that, not for the life of my family or my friends or my community, but for my life. The value of that is immense. And so that's what I would say about that. Now, I'm aware of the time. I wanted to, give our friend a little bit of space for them to kind of help. Any last minute questions or comments or ideas or messages that you would like to share with us before we depart for now?
I don't have any message left. But I will send some miracle energy. So stay open to receive the energy of miracle, because it's around you. So try to breathe that energy in.
Thank you again for coming to play with us. And so one of the things for those that are listening, one of the things that, or watching, I guess, for those that are listening, our friend is moving his hand, which is something that our energetic friends do a lot with Chiara. So Chiara will, when they channel through my friend Chiara, they will move their hands in these gestures and these movements, which is moving energy around. And so our friend is inviting every single listener here to listen for and listen to pay attention to be open to recognizing the energy of miracles that he is sharing with each one of us. And so to our friend who came to play with us, thank you so much. I will invite you to continue doing what you need to do. And if you can allow our friend to come back when it feels right for you, please let that happen.
I bring in her back.
Beautiful. Thank you for coming to play with us. It's an honor to have you back. The question of spirituality and religion is always, not always, can be a very delicate conversation. I have someone in one of my groups who learned that I help people explore spiritual journeys, exploring past lives and alternate lives and in between lives. And he has a very religious background. And his question to me was, wait, but I'm very religious. How can that be aligned with my beliefs? And my answer to him was that what I do has no association with religion. It's an exploration of who you are and what you are. There's no doctrines or ideas that conflict with the notion that you are more than what you think you are, and you've experienced more than what you're aware of. And these are just possibilities and ideas to play with and expand and have fun with. So thank you for bringing up the question of religion. It's an important one for many of us. Chiara, welcome back. Did you recognize the energy?
Yes, but I think the other time we didn't give him a name too.
He didn't give us a name last time either. Yeah, he didn't give us a name last time either. But I remembered that we had the conversation with him earlier. As soon as he said that he plays with the energy of miracles, I was like, oh, I know you.
That was serious. That's not what I was expecting. I honestly thought it was going to be someone very light and
playful like Maitland.
Yeah, Maitland or Jade or Jowl or I don't know, someone. Yeah, like Instead, this.
So while Chiara's kind of getting back into herself, I again want to invite everybody, if you resonate with Chiara and you would like to play with her and our spirit friends, and I say our being all of us, not just a small collective of friends that are practicing, but literally all of us and our spirit friends. If that's something that resonates with you, Chiara has a special offer for the listeners of this event. It's an $80 one-on-one session with her, and she will connect with spirit, and whatever spirit comes forward will, work with you and answer the questions and, give you guidance that's relevant for where you're coming from. Chiara, anything that you want to say in closing?
Give me a second because I'm not sure I can think.
I told you guys that would happen. And so let me speak for Chiara. Thank you guys all for being here. It's an honor to share this experience with you. Chiara is, I admire her. I love working with her. She knows this. She has a wonderful energy and an incredible connection with spirit that's friendly and playful and open and communicative and supportive. And she brings that into all the sessions that she has, have it be for practice or have it be for, work related things, whatever the case may be. So if you resonate with her and you want to work with her one-on-one, please reach out to her, healer@chiaraprato.com. And the information is in the CSVS website. So Chiara, thank you as always for coming to play with me and the space.
Thank you, everyone. The fact that the energy today was not what I was expecting is because there are people that I don't know. So that's the reason that the energy was different. It's the beauty and the magic. For me, this is magic. This is they are able to take the energy of the collective, of the person that are there, and create something that can resonate with the most of us. And so I think this was a conversation that was needed, if not, even if it was not what I was expecting. And this is one of the reasons why every channeling is different, because I have never idea who is going to join. And if you have any question, well, not about what I said because I don't remember. I don't remember much of it. But if you have a question about the process, I can try to answer. And I'm going to stay here a little bit longer, even after the recording. So if you have a question, I'm here to answer. I hope.
Beautiful. So Chiara, thank you again for being so open to play with us and for being who you are. Lots of love to you. For people that are listening, either in the recording, the replays, or live, thank you all for being here. I cannot encourage you enough to reach out to Chiara. She's amazing. I love her. Coming up next is going to be Julie Weiner. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Julie. Julie and I have never worked together before. We were connected through a mutual friend, and so I'm really excited about this upcoming conversation. I had a great conversation with her when we were first introducing each other. So come back and join us at the top of the hour. And I will leave you until then with being spirit, being human, simply being from love. Thank you for being part of this incredible experience. We hope that this session has inspired a new level of understanding within you, allowing you to expand more easily into the essence of your true self and become an even more powerful alchemist in your own life. We invite you to listen to the session again and again in order to go deeper each time and expand even more, have it be via the replays or the unlimited access package. If you have enjoyed being part of this event, we invite you to tell your friends so that they can join us in the future. We are grateful that you are here, and we thank you for co-creating this experience with us. Until next time, we leave you with being spirit, being human, and simply being from love.